Hey there, my name's Khaled Ghunim, and this is Rooted in Love, a podcast where we dive deep into conversations with spiritual and social justice servant leaders who are dedicated to cultivate a world truly rooted in love. Join us as we intertwine powerful insights and visionary ideas that inspire us to reimagine what it would look like to truly be in radical, loving community together. Thank you for joining us to expand your mind and open your heart towards our collective liberation. This is Rooted in Love.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Rooted in Love podcast with Coco Sanctuary. Today is a very special day because we have a dear, beautiful soul with us, Free Pierre. I'm so grateful for you to be here with us today. And before we begin, I really want to read your bio because I thought it's so beautiful. If it's okay if I read it? Okay. So I'm going to do it verbatim because I'm like, oh my, it looks like you crafted it very intentionally. It was really beautiful. Free They Them is a proud native of Newark, New Jersey, a Haitian-American, student of abolition, and a poet at heart. Free is passionate about uncovering their own personal movements towards embodiment and liberation within their Black body, as well as supporting movements within Black communities. Free is a resting being who deliberately believes in their own magic and the magic within everyone around them. As a lawyer, Free hopes to better understand the ways in which legal structures can support and are a hindrance to imagining abolitionist futures. When they are not imagining fantastical futures with friends, Free enjoys supporting mindfulness spaces through their yoga and breathwork practice and losing at game nights. So beautiful. So beautiful. It's like one of the best bios I've read. And seriously, it's so beautiful. So thank you so much. I want to preface too that we met at a BIPOC yoga conference maybe like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah.
A few months ago. Maybe 3. Yeah. And it was like an instant
energy.
Who are you? Who are you? This beautiful being. Who are you, beautiful being?
Yeah.
And so I am so grateful that we have been brought together in this time and space. And I'm so excited for people to learn about your own journey and your own healing path and what you do to provide healing for so many as well.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you for having me here. I'm so grateful to be on the podcast. This is my first experience doing this kind of thing.
Yay!
And yeah, just your energy off rip, like when I met you, was just like aura and energy and light and
Thank you.
The softest, most welcoming light. And I definitely needed it that day. Like seriously.
Wow.
So yeah, I was just like, who is this? So I'm so glad that we met.
Thank you so much. I felt the same about you.
Like since then I've been like, okay, I can't wait. I know in due time, like the universe is gonna do a thing where it's gonna have us find one another. So I'm just glad to be here. Glad to be in your beautiful space.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I would love to start with your background and your context. Okay. So I'm starting with maybe a little bit about yourself, how you grew up, your upbringing.
I'm from Newark, New Jersey, born and raised. Very proud of where I'm from and my people there. And my family's from Haiti. So I grew up in a very Haitian household. Amazing. Okay, like we very okay.
What does that mean?
What it means is a common phrase is like l'école, l'église, la caille, which is like school, church, and home. That's the only 3 places. Okay. Nowhere else. Not the park. Not your friend's house. Yes. Very, Haitian household. Very strict immigrant household, and also just loving household. Very communal. I remember like always having cousins and aunts in my house, and always having a full house. There were 6 of us, siblings. So it was always a loud ass house.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. And so for me, I feel like I grew up in just like community and constantly being surrounded by that love and I just have so many memories of that and I'm grateful to have that. I love my brothers. They're like my hearts. We talk like every week and we definitely got much, much closer when my mother passed away when I was 15. And so I think that drastically shifted a lot for me in terms of a lot of anger. I had like a lot of the world, and I'm a teenager, and it's a lot going on.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like that on top of starting to recognize, acknowledge the under-resourcedness of this, of our school, of our community, and the ways in which it felt as if the city and the government did not care about us. I feel like I had a lot of anger, and I was like, where do I put all this? And so I'm grateful for teachers in high school who were like, have you looked into like protest, like, you know, community stuff, advocacy, like that there. Then from then on, I felt like that helped me to build such like beautiful community with people who are also passionate about things around us needing to change and needing to shift and like finding our voice in that.
So you had a community organizing background in your youth.
High school,
as well.
yeah.
High school is when you started.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting because I feel like, there's a lot of people who are in a space where it's like structural disadvantages and inequities that there is so much rage and anger, but it's not taken to that conducive route. Like it's taken to screw it all. What's the point of anything? Let me just do whatever. Like I'm not going to school. I'm not screw all of it. And so I guess like for you, you think it was the guidance and mentorship that is what let you go into a more healthy path of like being able to have that outlet?
I would say so, yeah.
Social change.
And I'm grateful for that because I feel like it's what you're saying about like, you know, there's so many different routes folks can take, and like imagine being told in every step of the way of your life that like people do not believe in you, right? And imagine being told that by not having access to books, right? Or not having access to certain like privileges and things in schools, and seeing that like other schools had access to these things, other communities had access to these things, right? Like imagine a messaging that like starts to become internalized. And so I will very much say like my mentors, I'm very grateful that they saw something in me that I definitely did not see.
Wow.
And they were like, okay, like we're gonna take you here, like go do this and then go do that, and okay, go check this thing out and go to this city hall event and like speak there, and like very much like push me beyond my comfort zone. Because otherwise, like, I mean, we all had that same messaging, and like it just takes community and people to like believe in us and push us beyond how we see ourselves. So I'm very, very grateful for that.
It's essential. Like that guidance and wisdom from the older generation. It's so important to have that connection. So that's so amazing that they took you under their wing to go into your own full potential of how to blossom into your own activist and change maker self that you are. Yes. Amazing. A topic that you did bring up is this idea of like lack of self-worth, or like this lack of value that is instilled upon us, and that conditioning as Black and brown people of like we are less than, and it's ingrained in the society itself. And I guess if you could talk a bit about your journey of undoing that conditioning to come into like understanding your own sense of value and identity.
It is very much like intentional and systemic and like structural. Like if we believe that we are not enough, then like there's like I'm not gonna try to enact any sort of change, and like that's like very intentional, right? The conditions stay the same then, right?
Totally.
I would say it was having faith beyond what I believed in that like really helped me. Like I remember being a part of advocacy campaigns early on and being like, I don't think we're gonna make much change. I don't know. I'm gonna show up to these meetings. I don't know though. Because the way the government's looking, you know, like
hopeless case.
It's not looking
dire.
You know, dire. At least we in community, we hanging out. You know. And then like seeing that change and being like, oh,
it worked.
It worked. Shit. And this is the same thing. I remember reading about some of the early cases around reparations before coming to California, right? And folks fighting for that in California, as well as there's a place in Canada where folks are fighting for reparations for Black maternal health.
Okay.
Right? And then reading testimonial of like advocates and of the community organizers there who were like, my friend invited me to these meetings. I didn't believe that we was going to do anything. And now suddenly we have a California Reparations Task Force. And then you're like, oh, okay. Wow. But that's how I think some of that undoing started to happen. It was like being around folks who like really felt delusional. Or like, I was like, y'all think something's going to like work out? And like it started to work out. And then I was like, oh, okay, like maybe there's something there. Maybe like my voice does matter, right? Because it was other people who were modeling what it looks like to believe in their voice.
And I guess it's also the idea of like collective power. Yes. That like you start to feel like, oh, what am I going to do? But then you're in a group, in a room together, it's like, okay, actually there's a force.
Okay, actually we can force them to meet with, city members to meet with us. We can force our school to change and like have access to better textbooks and things. It's like, oh, okay. Like apparently, if there's enough of us, something can happen.
Yes, and I guess that ties back into that feeling of like, oh, actually, my voice does have value, or I do have validity in what I'm doing.
Yeah. So
is that how that started to shape you?
Yes,
too?
definitely. I found voice in the collective, right? And then I think a second part of that was reflecting upon my voice through like how my mom used her voice. So my mother was very much involved in the church, and like I'm grateful for what it did for her in particular. And like that was her relationship to, Christianity in the church. And she would oftentimes do sermons and like, sometimes drag me along. And like, I remember seeing the impact that her voice had on like our community members or like folks that she knew. And like, and I just remember feeling like, whoa, like, okay, like voices really have an impact. My mom's voice, like in church, definitely like guided my like work with spoken word poetry and like doing poetry slams and like being like, you know what, like this is the one like 5-minute moment where I'm gonna believe that my voice can do something.
Wow.
And then I'm gonna get off stage and be like, okay, back to life, like, and that really like, really
wow. Helped. Were you writing when you were young too? Was that always like a calling, writing?
Yeah. But it was for me at, from a young age, from like, I started writing when I was around 8 or so. And like, for me, it was just making sense of the world. I was like, what is happening out there? Like, what is that? Wow. And like, it helped me to process a lot. And then I think when, like, I remember my librarian in high school introduced me to performance, like spoken word. And that was the first time I was like, okay, like what happens if I say this out loud, that I'm angry about these things, or that I'm like sad about these things, or I'm excited about certain things, or that I'm imagining things, like what would happen. And that's when I started to feel like, oh, like my voice, okay, like, and at least in that artistic sense, like my voice can have space.
Yes.
In rooms and stuff.
Wow, and I'm sure the reception that you got too, like helped to validate that it's like, yes, it is resonating with other people too. My own stories and thoughts and opinions. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Wow.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, I guess you started to bring up the faith aspect, and that's something that I also wanted to touch on was like your spiritual journey as well. And you growing up in the church, it's a whole thing, I'm sure. And so whatever you're open to sharing about that and like exploring your own spirituality and sense of something greater than this material world.
Late 2020, early 2021, I was invited by a spiritual leader to go to a Black rest retreat. And I feel like that was a very just like pivotal moment of like re-understanding spirituality for me. I feel like spirituality, for me, like, has felt like this, like, constant questioning, and I think it always will be that. Like, I think that's the point. Except, like, with the Black Rest Retreat, I feel like that questioning felt okay.
Wow.
Like, for the first time.
Wow.
Of, like, what does it mean to believe in things beyond ourselves, beyond things we know, beyond things we experience. But, like, what does it mean to do that collectively? Right? Like, spirituality lies within the collective.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
Like going off into the forest and going to meditate to alignment. Yes.
Literally, we were out in the forest, and that was the first time. And I remember I was scared. I was like,
oh, you were in the forest? Yes, you were in the forest.
The fact that you knew that, I was like,
whoa, okay.
I was like, oh, I don't know. I'm from Newark, New Jersey. I'm from the city. I was like, this is not my cup of tea usually.
Animals are
right. It's the year 2020. I'm like, I don't do this. Our ancestors like tended to this land in so many different ways in so many parts of this world. Right, wherever we like associate our like lineages and stuff, and like that is always going to be true. After that Black Rest Retreat very much got me into like more of like, okay, what happens if I keep resting? What else keeps coming up? And then I learned about like Reverend Angel Kyoto Williams and Radical Dharma, and she has through and through very much like shifted everything that I think about, like centering love in terms of everything, right? And like that spirituality. And that allows me to like this cohabitation of like not just my own spirituality, but everyone else's. Because if you talk to someone long enough, you can find that connection.
Totally.
And like that's spirituality at the end of the day, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like if we get down to like
in there.
The core principles of love and about like, all these things, like that's spirituality.
Yeah.
At least for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
That it's like a greater force of some sort, of that force of love.
Yeah.
That's out there.
And it happens collectively. It happens collectively when we like sit alongside nature, and we sit alongside one another, and we sit alongside ourselves and our different versions of ourselves, right? And truly witness that.
Wow.
But yeah.
What do you think about there being like a higher power, like a like God, creator, source? What is your
I think
idea of that?
Ooh, I think there's like there is higher something.
Okay.
Right? And there's a higher universe, there's higher something. And that's how far I've gotten.
Okay.
And I'm okay with that. Yeah. So I'm like, I feel it and I experience it.
Yes, there's a presence, there's something larger.
Beyond us and like beyond things that I can make sense of. And like, I trust that. Yeah.
And then, can you have a relationship with that? To be like,
Absolutely. You can have a relationship with that. I continue to have a relationship with my mom and my grandmother who recently transitioned. And she's in the process of transitioning into ancestor. It takes about a year in Haitian culture. But yeah, like I think about that. Like it's like we can have these connections and these experiences, and I see her through the monarch butterflies.
Sorry, but why? Why the butterflies? Why the monarch?
That was one of the first things that I saw after she passed, and so I think that was like I was like, oh, what's happening? And then I was waiting to see how my grandma would show up because I was like, oh, is it gonna be another animal? Is it gonna be an insect? And it hasn't been. Instead, it's the sound of the breeze. And so that in particular is always like, okay, she's saying go forward this way. All right, I'm trusting that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
You know? And so
you know in Mexican culture that the monarch butterflies are like the ones that carry our ancestors? Dia de los Muertos. Like,
wow.
Yeah, that's what they're known for.
Really?
So like people go to the monarch butterfly reserve in Michoacan to go visit their ancestors, and like that's why everything has monarch butterflies and Dia de los Muertos because it's all for the ancestors.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah,
I trust that.
And it's so real.
People know that. You just it's
so
real.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So that's why I was like, whoa.
Oh my god.
And when I moved here, there's monarch butterflies
everywhere.
May I ask, like, for you, that connection to ancestors? I know that you also mentioned in our pre-interview, like, the spirit guides, too.
Yeah.
And, like, what kind of practices do you do to connect to your ancestors and spiritual guides? Yes.
Yeah. One of my spiritual mentors introduced me and talked to me about their practice with it and spending time in nature and these visualization meditations that can be supportive to uncover our different spirit guides in time, like when the spirit guides are like, okay, like it's time, right? And like you can ground it and anchor it into a particular practice or spirituality, or you can like experience it, right? Folks who are coming to my classes are coming from all different spaces and spiritual practices, and like, how do I like trust that folks can like tap into that, or like provide enough like guided facilitation that feels like they can like also create it and make it their own in that moment. Tapping into our spirit guides, however they might show up, and also like leading conversations or like even within my own self of like not just like witnessing the spirit guides, not just witnessing ancestors or other people, but like being very specific about what it is that I'm trying to ask.
Okay.
Right?
Guidance.
Yeah. Being willing to like and open to receiving that answer in a variety of ways. Right? It's not just gonna come in an answer. It might come in a feeling. It might come in like a what we call coincidences or coincidences later on.
Synchronicities, they're so real. Once we open up that portal, and it's so real.
Right?
Yes.
Right? And so being aware of that, right? But like being very intentional, like what is it that I even want to ask? And like what is it that I'm trying to ground myself into? And like, yeah, like getting more clarity and like trusting that like they will show up and show themselves in due time. And at least in the visualization practices that they will show up in a variety of ways. Right? Like whether it's like intentionally like dirt, right? Like I could be a spirit guide because it's like, I mean, what is more grounded and earthy than water and clay? Deconstructing our ideas of what we associate with those things in like our Western modern cultures, right? And then dropping into like that inner wisdom.
Going deeper into that inner healing journey and that inner work, how does that support the direct action work and the organizing that you do? You know, like, why is it important for us to be doing this healing work, which can feel so, you know, like, oh, I'm in my bubble.
No, okay, I feel so strongly about this because the way, whenever I'm in a community organized space, I'm like, no, we're going to start off by breathing. Like, we're going to start off by, like, slowing down. Like, how are you doing? Like, good morning. You know, like, we're not doing the whole, like, let's go. That's not efficiency. It's not. Someone, like, a comrade of mine was like, efficiency, like, 'cause she would spend, like, the first 30 minutes just, like, hee-ha-ha with us. Like, just laughing it up. Check, you know, oh my God, like, how you doing? Asking questions.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I remember asking her one time, I was like, how do you, like, know how to, like, because then we would always get the thing done that we needed to get done, right? And she was like, when we like are able to fully witness one another and find like a frequency or whatever you want to call it, like find some sort of like flow, like when we're actually truly talking to one another, then the questions that we have down the road about like the logistical bits, the administrative bits, like are actually more easily answered.
Wow.
Versus if we jump there,
that's amazing.
If we start off with something as simple as like, what day is it? You might have a different definition of what the word day means, and I might have a different definition of what the word day means. So like we're already starting off on two separate different like worlds.
Yes.
And now we're like just bickering back and forth about like what the word day means. And you're trying to convince me something, I'm trying to convince you something else. Versus like we talk long enough that I have a better understanding of how you see the world, of how your heart flows and how my heart flows. And then we can ask, okay, what day is it, right? Like, because we might have the same actually idea of a day, but it might be communicated differently.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying?
Like coming into alignment together.
Yeah, into alignment.
Wow.
And so, yeah, I would say like, in terms of your question of like, how does all this support?
Yes.
It makes all the bigger questions easier, right? Like, I've like, done a variety of different organizing campaigns around like prison closures to like a lot of different things, right? And like, all of it can become like administrative, it can become impersonal, it can become cold. And then what do we do then? Like when like trust is inevitably broken? What do we do then when like we don't understand each other, we have different definitions of the word day? Like we're not able to actually like move forward then. Right? So it's actually like
slow down.
We need to slow down. Yeah. And then the second bit of that, of like why this is so important, is that we actually like, we definitely need to do a lot of things about the world, and we definitely need to do it as soon as we possibly can. But we actually have to need to like be here. And people don't, you know? Ooh.
Like to actually feel.
Yeah. And to like actually like be here to see what happens when we inevitably have that change happen. Like I believe that we are going to change the conditions, the present conditions, and I believe we're going to change it over time, and I believe we're going to do that in community. And I believe that like there's a lot of solutions and ideas that are going to come from that, from community. And I want to be able to be here long enough to see that. And so when we think about like,
oh, got it, like the burnout exhaustion. Yes, okay, yes.
The burnout, the exhaustion, the depression.
Yes, it's extreme. Totally. Ooh.
And we can't ignore that.
Ooh.
And so I really, really believe that this is what helps us to sustain for the long haul, right? Like we can't rely on one person in any given coalition to like be a person to hold it down, because now we're relying on them to be a martyr.
Wow. Totally.
And we need them here.
Yes, it also reminds me that like the idea of spirituality and work being separate is very a colonial
intentional
paradigm. Yes. That it's like they separated the two, and it was never meant to be separate. Like it was a holistic way of living that you look to the whatever to be able to inform.
Come on.
Yes.
Come on.
Your work.
Come on.
The prayers would go into before you begin working.
Exactly.
Like, it was all intertwined. And now that we've lost it, now we're all just in the rational brain. We're machines, which we're not. Of course, it's going to feel completely burnout, exhaustion, depression, because it's not our true nature. Yeah.
Intentional.
Yes.
Yeah.
Intentional.
And so then, like, where does that leave me if, like, I feel, you know, because, the burnout's going to happen and the depression's going to happen. All the things are going to happen. All the different pieces of processing the world is going to happen, right? And also, like, we can't forget to, like, stop and witness one another and hold one another, laugh with one another, see each other's hearts and, like, witness one another. Because, like, that's what helps fuel and continue this work, right? Like, if all we're doing is talking work, talking shop, every single time we're organizing to like do something in the city, do something in our schools, like that's not sustainable. You're burning out. That's not sustainable. And then now
not building community either.
And then now what? That's intentional, right? Yeah, the powers that be stay the same.
Yes. And it's sort of this idea of like, what is the world that we want to envision? And if we want a world that is rooted in that level of care, radical community care, then we have to start practicing that now.
Like
we
right now.
We can't wait until whatever is abolished or whatever is ended. It's like we have to start the practices now.
Exactly.
Seeing it.
We have an opportunity to practice it right now.
Yes. And
to be here so that when abolition inevitably does happen, we're there.
Yeah.
We made it there, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, that's just an easy, okay. We got it, we're fully in now.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're still alive.
So what kind of practices do you bring into like your organizing spaces, or like do you say like, oh, this is what we need to do, or because another thing is that I feel like a lot of organizers are they're so focused on the direct action that they're like, this is a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah.
Like, so how do you bring it into those spaces too?
I would say in a variety of ways. I agree with you. Yeah, organizing.
Woo! It's so fast. Everything is urgent, which it is. I get it. It's urgent. People are suffering now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't want to downplay that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I think for me, like, there has to be a level of care for one another that allows us to like all like be there for each other and to like make it, to see these strategies and tactics be enacted and like take shape and take form. So I would say even in my like work meetings or like in spaces that I'm organizing, like when I start to feel like things are moving too fast, I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna name it and see what happens. And like,
it's very courageous.
Yeah, because I'm like, you know what, like I'm needing a breath. Yeah. I don't know about y'all, but like let me take a breath together, collect the breath.
Yes.
And even being intentional of like how we plan agendas and being like, okay, like if we're gonna start out with a really heavy topic, like we have to ease into that. We have to figure out how people are even arriving. Right? And have a check-in question of some sort.
Great.
Like,
that's great.
You just have to.
Yes.
And then like after the heavy topic, like this week we're talking about, it was National Day of like Police Brutality, or like honoring and bringing voice to names and folks who have lost their lives to police brutality. Yeah, so there was some heavy, things that, we can get into with that. And I was like, okay, like, I'm feeling a lot of it in my body. Like, ooh, like, can we take a moment to like shake it out a little bit and move around a little bit, So I think for me, just voicing like whenever I'm like, I need it. I'm not saying y'all need it, but I'm like, this is at least what I need. And then like if at any point, I hope that it like encourages others to like also express they might be needed.
They may not even not know that they need it in the first place if they're not aware of these practices or haven't been introduced to them.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know any other way of being, or this is just how it is. Just like overstimulated and dysregulated nervous system, all the things.
Right. And then just modeling like how I want us to interact. Yes. Like I'm gonna ask you, how you doing? How was that thing that you brought up that one time? Beautiful. Like how'd that turn out for you? Like how'd the move? We're talking because what we're not gonna do is like just all right, let's organize and strategize. Like I think we got a few minutes. We can spare here and there.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and again, it's like another colonial paradigm. It's the sense of urgency. It's not. Yes. It'll be okay, y'all.
Yeah, and the like hardest, most transformative campaigns took years.
Totally.
Months, if not
this
years.
This is a years, decades long
We're gonna
process.
be here hanging out for a little bit. Let's get to know each other. Versus just
totally.
It's important for me to also just like hold and maintain those spaces beyond organizing spaces, because like that's organizing too in a different way, and like
totally.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, like this is also like the like anchor for me, so I can like figure out the rest of it, right? And so like attending them for myself, and then just facilitating things that like I'm curious about and want to be in community with, and figure out together.
Amazing. Yeah, I think the other big thing that I'm starting to realize is also that these two are not separate. Like again, the spiritual elevation and the community liberation elevation.
Come on,
that
talk more.
Yeah, you're awesome.
Yes,
tell me more. That like we need for us to elevate our consciousness. We have to do that alongside elevating everyone's material condition, but we cannot have one
or the other.
Correct.
Exactly.
Correct.
Come on. Right?
Yes, because it's like, okay, if you get the material riches or the stability, but you're still in your, it's called anartas in Sanskrit. It's like the coping mechanisms, the addictions, the whatever that you don't know how to deal with life, even if you reach a certain material level. They're still going to be there, if you don't go into your spiritual path of like, okay, what's actually in my inner world?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and do that healing.
Yes. And we're seeing this too with like, some of the work that I do right now is around like, an OUSD with the Police Free Schools campaign, and now there isn't like, a police presence in Oakland Unified School District. There's a lot of ways that we like on a spiritual level that we police ourselves and one another. And we actually can't like just like think that, okay, we got rid of police. We out now.
Wow.
Good to go.
Wow.
No, we're still punitive, right? In nature, in
Yes.
a lot of ways, we're taught that at a young age.
We're still colonized. We're still
Colonized, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah,
From
yeah.
generations,
Shame,
it's in us.
Right?
Wow.
Come on.
Wow.
Come on. That all needs to get like undone as
Yes.
well, right? So that's when like all these practices come into it too, right?
For your own calling and what you feel like your dharma is, like what is your own soul purpose if you've tapped into that for yourself and like, yeah, how you want to be of service in the world too.
My dharma, I love that you.
Yes.
I will say, I feel very clear on my dharma right now.
Okay,
I'm always
okay.
open to that shifting.
Yes.
Of course. Right? We have to remain like, we have to be willing to pivot. Right now it's, and for some time, for a few years, it's been what conditions are needed or like how can I hold space so that we witness one another's hearts. And so that's where, you know, I met you at my On Love somatic practice, right?
Yes.
And so, it was like this really incredible opportunity, and I've been practicing several spaces, right? On love, on rest, and on presence. And so like all of these things can like support truly seeing each other's hearts, right? Like my work last year and some of this year too has been around like circle keeping practices and like grounding myself into like restorative justice and like indigenous practices around like circles, right? And like holding circle in BIPOC specific spaces, mostly Black like spaces too. Because there's something really, really powerful about witnessing one another and witnessing one another's growth, like live, right? Because when we talk long enough, we get to the core of each emotion of like, oh, I know what it feels like to experience fear or like love or like joy and all these other core emotions. And like, I can see that in your story.
Wow.
Versus like the very intentional ways that we justify having prisons, for example, right? Because this idea that there are people, monsters, that are different from us. There are people that are like, that we have no sort of tie or connection to.
They're not even human.
They're not even human. That's what we're going to tell ourselves. And they should be over here, and we should be over here. And then if at any point we do something or get into anything, we should be over there. And we no longer deserve to be in community.
Jeez.
Right? That's very intentional. Because if you like think about it as like a, like, from that sense, you're like, what? Like, if you were someone who just came onto this earth and you heard that, you'd be like, what? What are y'all doing over there? Right. I will say for me, my calling is around like, how do we witness one another at our core more so that like we can return back to balance collectively, whatever that might be. And so whether it's on love through like somatic practices together and like with strangers, with roommates and with other people beyond this like notion of like romantic connections, and that's the only place you get that.
Yeah.
Right?
You can have affection from all different friendships, and dynamics.
Right?
Totally.
Right? And we can even bring these practices to protests and to other, come on, we can get into it. I want to see it. I want to, like, that's what I want to see.
Free hugs.
Come on.
At protests.
And like all the other things that we're doing at protest. And when someone starts to become dysregulated, they're not just like expected to like take care of themselves.
Wow.
We can't do that.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So like things like that. And I saw that live too when like I was supporting like the like Palestine encampments in Los Angeles on the UCLA campus this past year and last year, and like the way that folks like looked out for one another and like continued to, I mean, there was a lot of different things happening at the same time, trust me. And one of the pieces that stuck with me was like a willingness to like regulate together and like return back to balance together.
Wow.
Yeah, so my hope is that all these different spaces that I'm holding can support that.
Yeah.
Return us back to like these core emotions that allow us to move forward.
Wow. I know that something that you mentioned was like, your mother and your grandmother, and then this idea of like death and rebirth, and that you've been thinking about that in your own journey of like redefining what is death and what is birth. And especially with the amount of pain and like a lot of grief and loss in this current time of separations, family separations, like Palestine, Sudan, Congo, like all the things. It's just a lot. And so from your own journey of dealing with grief and loss, like what has been supportive for you, and then also, your definitions of death and rebirth, birth, and however you want to describe those two.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good question, because I've been thinking about this.
Okay.
I've been reading this book, The Book of Living and Dying right now. Ooh. It's a really good book.
Wow.
We'll have to talk about it at some point. And it's really, my friend gave me this book recently, and she didn't know that my grandmother had just passed. And so I was like, what are the chances? She was like, hey, I saw this book, I thought you'd like it. And I was like, of course.
Yes.
This is like
Thank you.
the thing that guides me, through this moment. Like, thank you.
Oh, wow. It's been like really a place of solace. Okay. That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah. So like slowly getting through it. And I would say like grief is not easy. And grief, it hits when it hits. It hits in different, time frames, however long, however short. And there's so many different, types of grief. There's, there's collective grief, there's personal, there's intergenerational. There's so many, there's grief in all shifts and changes, right? And there's something about that tells me that, it's a reminder of our capacity to love. I love this moment so much that I don't want it to change.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Just please.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that I don't want to pivot. Even though life is just constantly telling us to pivot. Yeah. Right? So much has changed within this conversation. Yes. Right? Within an hour ago.
That change is constant. Yes.
And yet we're well, at least for me, I don't want to bring else. I'm like, no, I want to be right here. I want to, grab. And it's like, no. That's not realistic, and it's not fair to me, And so grief feels like a marker of oh wow, I have so much love that I love these moments, right? That I don't want it to shift and change. I will say grief feels like the ultimate somatic experience because
totally, it's all consuming.
Yes. And I don't know if we fully, or maybe I don't fully understand the extent of what grief can do to oneself or one's body, because there are ways that since my grandmother's passing a few months ago, I feel like I've moved significantly slower. I'm even today, I'm a little later to things. I used to be I used to be at a party helping them set up. I used to be the one, they're like, early. I'm like, no, let's go. And now these days I just move slower. Yeah. And it's not intentional. It's my body's just
slower.
It's slower, dude. It's not just walking. It's there's a little bit of sand there. It's okay, we're gonna go about our day today. Yeah. And just being okay with that. Yeah. And having enough love for the present moment to be let me be honest about what that means for right now in this moment. Right? It just means I'm gonna take a little longer to do this. I might not get to all these tasks that I wanted to get to. I might not, wake up as early as I want to wake up.
It's wonderful.
No, sometimes I'll be where up? Go, run it, and it's okay, let's go.
Feed me.
Yeah. So today is more compassionate, but earlier in the week it was not.
What are you doing? You need to move.
Run it. Let's go. Yes, and with this idea of death, I will say in some ways, obviously I miss my mother dearly, and I would do anything to have her back. And to have experienced a loss like that as young as I experienced it, there's some, again with the word privilege, not the colloquial way, but it gives me more in that moment to experience grief and to be so what does that mean then at a young age? Yeah. Because death is real. It's so real that I'm experiencing it right now, and that I'll always be experiencing it to some extent, right? And the preciousness of each moment with each person. Yeah. And the preciousness of what it means to not hold on to okay, so this person, I'm really enjoying this moment, so I'm gonna just hold on to this person forever. No, that's not how that works.
That's not love.
That's just not love.
It's not love.
Having enough spaciousness to appreciate it and be well, thank you, and then you go.
Yeah, you're well, the flower you're gonna suffocate it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So that's what death I think is coming up for me lately around. And then death, there was meditation that I was doing the other day around death, and it said that death isn't everything that is born had to have come out of something that died. And that's been such a, my brain is still thinking about it. I'm like, wait a minute. Like you could not have had a birth of any experience or moment unless something had not worked out or died. Right? When we think about experiences, when we think about connections, when we think about like anything.
Totally. Wow, I was literally just reading The Heart of Yoga with about pranayama.
Yes.
That you cannot get a new breath if you still haven't exhaled the old breath.
Yes, if it still hasn't died yet.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow, profound.
That's so profound. I mean, I've been spending days with that. I'm like, wait, whoa,
wow.
right?
Wow.
And so death, if anything, feels like it definitely feels like a somatic experience, and like I'm holding that in a lot of ways, and constantly remind myself to release it, and giving myself grace when I don't, because some days I'm like, no, I'm gonna be sad.
Yes.
And that's like that's love too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes.
And like, there's death happening in every small moment. And I just have to like be like aware and like look out for that. So if I get stuck in the now, like holding on to everything, and I'm like, whoa, everything is horrible, and then I'm actually not allowing for things to just die.
Yeah.
And they will, and I trust that, because new things will be birthed, new ideas on how to like address these material conditions are gonna be born when I leave my house and talk to you or be in community, right? Versus like staying inside and being like, no, everything's just like this, and it's gonna always stay like this. Even in grief, right?
Yeah. And I think that's also what's so beautiful is that if we allow ourselves to die, like I feel like, of course there's like, yes, actual death and the grief of that, but also like losing our old selves too. Like having our old selves die, it's terrifying to go into the unknown space.
Come on.
But it's the most beautiful place we could ever enter into.
Come on. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that it's like how much light comes through when you have let that other shedding go. Wow. Wow.
Come on.
It has to happen.
You know what I'm talking about with the spiritual practices, right? And talking about like returning back to this idea of balance. Like, because all that feels like returning back to a space that's like present enough to notice the death and the birth of things.
Yes.
In a lot of ways, like within ourselves and within the world. Right? Because like if there's an imbalance, then like it feels harder to move with more like openness, right? Or more like intentionality, right? Or like direction.
Yeah.
But if we're like, okay, like how do we turn back to like the fact that, okay, there is death and birth happening everywhere around me in every single capacity, not just in terms of humans, but like in terms of the trees, in terms of like
leaves, everything's death. We're surrounded by death.
In terms of the moments, in terms of the thoughts, the ideas that we have.
Wow.
Right? Like then that's returning back to balance, right? And like that's allowing us to like meet each moment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, it's incredible. You know, the other thing that I'm just so grateful for grief is that that like by us experiencing that, like I feel like because I've gone through my own, you know, like place of deep, deep grief, that now I understand compassion, real compassion with others now.
Come on.
Now I can relate with you in a way that I would not have known how to without experiencing my own grief.
Right.
You know, that it opens up a whole new way of being intimate with others because we have to be together in our grief too and witness each other through that too. So
that's such a good point. Yeah. And so like it opens your heart even more.
Totally. Like an open heart through it.
Yeah. And like grief, this idea of grief can be so scary in community, right?
Yes.
And it's like, no, it actually allows more room to like connect.
Wow. And more love.
More love. Yeah.
Wow, Free. This was such a sacred, beautiful conversation. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Is there anything else that you would like to make sure that we touch on or that you would want to share? Also your offerings if you want people to join into your own community too.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Like, oh my God, thank you for like forcing me to use my voice and like stand in that.
Yes, thank you I'm so glad it was a sacred aligned yes for you. Yes.
Very aligned. Yes. Thank you so much.
Oh.
I would love to tell folks about my offering.
Yes.
And just like tap in and like my Instagram is like Embodying Free. And I host like a monthly BIPOC space. It's like a portal, like a space for folks to just drop into. It's called On Presence. And so what can we learn about the past and the future to like meet the present times? And so sometimes we do like meditations on like past, like ancestral stuff, the spirit guide work that I was telling you about. Wow. Sometimes we do future self visualizations, which are my favorite.
Amazing.
Because it's like, let's spend time with our future selves. Like, let's see what's beyond this moment, you know, and like work our way backwards from there.
Wow.
So that's a monthly offering on second Mondays in Oakland.
It's in person.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
even more amazing. Yeah, we need the in-person stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
everything's
Okay. Oh,
yes.
okay.
Amazing.
And I'm slowly working on like a few other projects and things that I'll be posting about on my Instagram.
Okay.
To like offer more meditations and things like that.
Yes.
But yeah, sound baths and stuff. So please let the folks know.
Yes, everyone come through.
Let's talk. Let's
all the
shit.
shit offerings.
But I really
Amazing.
appreciate you.
Thank
you so
you
much.
so much.
Me.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of Rooted in Love featuring Free Pierre, an inspiring soul that is catalyzing revolutionary healing here in the Bay Area and beyond. If you'd like to learn more about Free's offerings in the community, you can find a list of useful links in the show notes. Feel free to share this episode with a friend, subscribe, and leave a rating. Follow along for future episodes on Instagram at cocos.sanctuary, which is also in the show notes. Until next time, please be sure to take intentional moments of pause to be able to stay rooted in love within yourselves and for the community around you.